because he gets 2 campaign sessions.
You know what? This is the weekend I want the most that I never want when it's here. I was telling the scholars this last night. When I'm prepping for the scholars, all I can do is think about like stuff happening in the nobles, and I'm just like, God, I want to play like in the nobles campaign this weekend. And then when I'm prepping the nobles, I'm thinking of all stuff for like the scholars. I'm like, I wish it was the scholars. And then by the time I'm done with the scholars and it's moving on to the gladiators, it's just like, it's so quick. I want more time. I want more time. Just give me one more day. Because I don't know. Stuff always hits me for like the next campaign out. But fortunately, I was on my P's and Q's for you guys. So I was a little bit stressed coming into this. And I opened up my notes from last session. I was like, wait a second. Look at all this stuff old Brandon did. He's really coming through for me. So we are good tonight.
Good for you. Past Jordan's a dick. He leaves me literally nothing. Except extra work to do.
All right.
Brandon, I wanted to also throw out there, I currently have 5 loot points, and actually, sorry, I have 6 loot points, and I have a ruby worth 50 gold and 194 gold.
You have 194 gold, a ruby, and
worth 50, and
6 loot
points.
Okay, hold on, my brain's doing math.
I was looking at the starting gear, and a single loot point is 50 gold. I would ideally like to not run out to 0 money whatsoever.
They'll do it. They'll do it for everything you have on you, and if you work the shop for a day.
If you're willing to be broke, you'll get it.
I'm willing to be broke.
All right, you can add +1 magical barding to your inventory. Out of the options, did you want to go with scale mail?
Yeah, I'll go scale mail.
Okay. And so the statistics for that, it is going to be 15 plus the dex modifier, maximum of 2. And that will become Spike's AC while he wears it. He is very unruly while you put it onto him. It's not until you cast the spell that he starts obeying your orders. But after you get it on, he's so cute.
You said that was 10, correct? Or
say that again?
What type of armor?
Scale mail. +1 scale mail. And it is barding for a scorpion. All right. Oh, we're live. Okay. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is the Gladiator Saga 1, episode 24 of their campaign. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. It is tonight, this afternoon, as everybody sees with all this roaring sunlight in the background. Everything you're going to see tonight is live storytelling and live roleplay, and it can go in any direction. That's one of the fun parts of playing. If you're under the age of 14, please consult your parents before watching this. And if you don't know about the setting, please Google search it. Ilderon, we come up on all the Google searches. It's a really cool setting with a lot of fun stuff about it. Let's jump into some D&D. The last session started on the 23rd of Noble. Or no, I'm sorry, the 35th of... Gosh. Last session started on something. Let's see. This is... God bless Rob for the recaps. The 32nd of Noble, and we time skipped a bunch of days because we had a travel session. The party had just finished up their arena match inside of place Giakai Fros, and had gotten on a boat, the Good Joy, to head towards Sky's Reach. When they arrived at Sky's Reach, they were greeted with the beautiful skyline of the city as they pulled into port. The captain of the Good Joy was things had turned very sour for him on the ship in the past few days, and he was very eager to get back into town. As to why, I don't think he mentioned or anybody in the party inquired. He said his parting with the party and sent them north to a different set of docks so he wouldn't have to pay taxes on their entry. That said, the party had some conversation about how beautiful and regal and free of crime Sky's Reach is, at which point some of the party members said, "Well, that was a load of that was a load of lies." The party was able to get their proper paperwork to enter the city. They are set up as magenta contractors, which is the color of contract for performers within the city. And they went on their way. We time skipped one day in Sky's Reach from the 35th to the 36th. Different people handled different stuff. We have a document for it that was shared on the server, and I'll put it in the recap channel at the end of this session. Generally, things that happened during the document that I will put on there. C's trained up, or rather, C's tinkered with his mount and trained how to use his new fighting style. By the way, did you make that roll, the performance? You haven't quite mastered it yet.
Okay.
It's going to take another training session. And the party went to, or rather, then C's went to get some contacts within the city, learning about what the who he can work for and if it is more valuable to get different types of contracts. That said, C's did get a name, a member of the Millith, which is like the high mafia, or like a mafia don, essentially. A person by the name of Shadespeare, who is looking for people to run safe and legal work and be a distraction for a bigger operation happening within town. Moving on down from there, Brewbark got some armor for Spike and did some investigation on the Avenslew, which I'll come back to because it is tied into another character. Regis was able to spend some downtime gambling and hanging out, and XV went to get entry into the arena. Unfortunately, she was unable to do so as the two members of the Feyfelon Circle that organized the arena are missing. She also investigated into her own past as a slave, and she found out there was a set of privateers by the name of the Avenslew, or they were on board a vessel called the Avenslew, and they plundered another vessel that XV was on that was transporting slaves. The slaves they plundered, they sold then to a company called the Grey Path. Unfortunately, the Avenslew was fell out of service of the Queen and became pirates, at which point the Sunyith sunk the ship in the southern waters of the Tide Gate, and records of it are lost. From there, XV went out to the beach at night, and she started training her magic, and she encountered a curious Mirai who was watching her use these magics of the deep, magics that the Mirai was intimately familiar with. After having a small conversation, the Mirai sketched XV on some deep sea crystal and left the sketch with XV. At which point XV went back to find the party and where the party was staying for the night. Whew. All of that said, let's give the party a place to stay. I said we were going to do this together because that was going to make it easier for me. Was there any type of place, because this is a huge city, so you guys can find things that suit your needs. Was there any type of place you guys would kind of like want to stay in? Someplace grimy and cheap, someplace regal and fit for you know, the level of entertainer you are, or someplace
but secure.
My 2 cents is I want to try and earn back some of my money with being a performer. So as long as there is a kind of a common area that people are spending time in, and I'm able to increase our clout and everything as the guild.
Okay. You've given me an idea already of where I'm going to place you. Os, you said something as far as Regis's preferences?
Fairly reasonable, but in a more secure location. You know, not down in the slums, but you know, close enough that it's like lower middle class.
Okay. You've given me a second option. Before I present you with these two, did anybody else want to say anything? Because I've got 2 ideas of places that exist, and if they don't suit your needs, I can roll up someplace new.
I want one that comes with a complimentary breakfast and a shower.
All right. Well, that actually fits into the first one. Okay. So, the first place that exists, or the first one that came to my mind, and this one I already have rolled up, is the Singing Ghost Tavern. Let's move to Lil Nagai, or to Sky's Reach. It is in a side of town known as Honor's Reach. This is where a lot of foreigners come to stay while they're within the town. Lots of people traveling in and out, and entertainers make a very good life in here, and especially adventurers sharing stories. People love coming to this place for the atmosphere. And even the Lil Nagians come to kind of mingle with people walking like the Path of Glory and stuff, and just kind of talk with some of the guilds. And celebrate with some of the guilds that are coming through. It is a large establishment, and it is incredibly clean and well lit, and all of the crowd that comes through here kind of serves as extra security. Lots of different adventurers and stuff, so it's while I guess it's not in the best area of town, the people that come here make it, you know, kind of a safe haven.
What was the name of this place?
The Singing Ghost Tavern. The next place that came to mind, when you mentioned you wanted someplace in a nicer section of town, there is a place I have rolled up called the Heroic Star Inn that is within Honor's Walk, which is overlooking Honor's Reach, and this is the inner part of the city. It is a little bit more expensive, and it's a little less populated. It's in a nicer section of town, and kind of just being within the inner city gives it that extra layer of security. It is in the tier 2 of the upper city. Do either of those tickle your fancies? Because I'm going to place you in one of them. Okay.
First one is my bet.
All right. I'm going to... So you guys are all on your way back to the Singing Ghost Tavern at various points on the 35th. The party will have a room there. I would tell you guys the price, but as I do, everybody turns and looks at Tayden, who then pulls out her
That's great having a
coin
sponsor.
pouch.
It's like, Mom, we want to be here.
That's why I advocated for the other place.
All right. So let's pick up. It is the 36th of Noble. Before you guys can rest off your previous day and get ready for the events of this coming day, you are awoken by bells. The bells ringing early in the morning, and criers walking down streets, ringing handbells. Eventually, you all wake up and you can look out the window of, the rooms that you guys have. And you know what? Let's just give you a D4 of rooms. That's fair. You guys have 2 rooms that the group is split between.
Me and Tayden are in one room, and all the guys are in the other room.
There we go. I was going to say figure it out on your own, but that makes sense. Looking out the windows, you guys can see there are criers with messenger bags, queen servants walking down the street, handing out pamphlets and broadsheets, and they are ringing a bell as they do. The bells echo and chime over the city, making for a symphony of sounds early in the morning. What do you all want to do?
Find out what the news of the day is, maybe?
Eat
There's an awful lot of ruckus.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll grab the pamphlet also.
All right. Waking up, heading to the door of the inn and standing out on the street. You guys aren't the only ones out here. Also, interested in learning what's going on.
Actually, C's will probably go out and get a broadsheet or whatever and let everybody else get breakfast and then just bring a few in so people can read and eat while they're waking up.
Sees as you go to get one from one of these passing criers, she's going to say, Citizen of Ilunagai, 32 mandates have been given out by the Sky Queen. I remember her name. On behalf of Her Majesty, when Laura of Wave Watch, Risen Sky Queen of Discipline. She hands you one of these sheets, and she says, "Are you capable of reading, or shall I read it for you?"
I am quite capable.
She nods and says, "Ilya Aria, may the goddess's grace follow you." She continues walking, ringing her bell, handing them out to people who stop and approach her.
What the hell is up with rule number 1?
Actually, that's pretty much what he's going to say. Hold on a second. My reading ability is quite good, and I doubt the veracity of this first statement. Is this something that's enforceable? Is this done? I'm new here.
She's going to look over the broadsheet and say, well, the seated have chosen our Sky Queen for her ability and record, and these are her mandates. As her servants, she grimaces and says, we are, by oath, sworn to be the eyes, ears, and hands of her will.
I love 3. I love 3. And
I was laughing at 3 as well.
The rest of the time is totally fine. So, how likely am I to get in trouble if I am short a minute of laughing?
Oh shit, number 5. 1, we're not citizens of Ilunagai, so you don't have to worry about it.
She's going to...
Also, do helmets equate to hats?
Wait, what was this rule again? What was this thing? I'm sorry, I was dealing with my dog.
Don't worry. Well, he'll bring it in in just a second.
She's going to scratch her head on the helmet part, and you know what? She'll pull out a small little notebook that just says, there was a briefing on this morning. She's gonna say, do you wear the helmet as part of a uniform or for warmth?
The helmet is for protection, not exactly for warmth.
No.
It's also kind of part of my head. Clank, clank, clank. It integrates. Not a hat. Excellent. I am not forbidden from dancing then, I suppose.
At which point she'll also say, well, seeing as it's 6th day and there are only 4 more days of the week left, you should spend all of your time, or you should at least spend 7 minutes on the coming days laughing at the wind.
I will be sure to laugh as soon as the wind has something funny to say.
The hell
be
did I
forced
miss?
to find someone to say something funny. Thank you for your time. I will be concerned about this later.
She nods, continues ringing her bell, and walking down the street.
So he brings in this sheet and goes, guys, there are some very serious rules in this town that you. He doesn't laugh. There are some very serious rules in this town that we're going to have to abide by with great diligence. He puts the thing on the table, sits down, crosses his arms, and waits.
Why don't you just read it out? You
All
have
right.
a good reading voice.
All right. Each Nagian citizen must spend a minimum of 21 minutes spread out through 3 different days of the week laughing at the wind.
What?
No Nagian citizen who exists for every second day shall be permitted to seek employment from the Sky Queen's contractors. The precedent shall determine what constitutes as every second day shall begin 22 years before the first recorded histories of the waking era and extend infinitely into the future. It is illegal to confuse the Sky Queen with a crazed circus animal between the hours of sunrise and sunset. It's very pointedly interpreted for that. Clean drinking water may be exchanged for ruby pieces at the rate of 1 ruby piece per 5 gallons of water. That's crazy. I don't know who would do that.
That's not so bad.
One may be jailed for wearing a hat while dancing, even for wearing a hat to a function where dancing is taking place. By the way, helmets are fine. I checked. If you are carrying a pox, blight, or infectious curse, it is illegal to hail a porter or carriage except between the hours of sunrise and sundown on 8th day. It is illegal to present an Ilderon official with a container filled with humanoid fecal matter.
That was
Also
probably
looks-
fair.
Also looks Timbuktu. Any legal agreements made with beings whose souls are not constrained to the sensible flow of nature shall be determined null every 7th day, at which time a petition may be made to the Sky Queen's servants to validate the legitimacy of such agreements. No deals
Kaden
with the
tilts
devil.
her head at
Check.
that one.
Is that a problem?
She's going to shake her head and say, I don't understand it.
Well, honestly, I think if you don't make any deals with me or devils or angels or anything like that, we're probably fine.
Well, if you do make a deal, it's nulled on every 7th day of the week, in which case you have a chance to petition to null the agreement entirely.
In other words, if you say
no, you have the
you're going to
petition.
trade your
It's just-
soul at the end of a week for something,
A week is 10. A week
you
is
get-
10 days.
Does,
Yeah, but that's every 7th
but the
day.
point,
Yeah.
but the point is, if you get that thing, then 7th day. Oh, look, I don't have to give you my soul.
Right. Very
Um,
important. And it's
Hayden-
nullified, but they can petition to make it valid.
Tayden's going to
Yeah.
outstretch her palm as kind of like just presenting an argument and say, but it was my understanding that Sky Queen's just a normal Sarai. Does she have the power to nullify a deal between a demon and a mortal?
She says she does. All right, moving on. We've got some ground to cover, so let's get started. Any citizen found citizen found to be a part of a collection of individuals seeking the destruction of all life on Ilderon shall be denied the use of the Sky Queen's servants or contractors. Special permission may be granted, but must be petitioned only on 9th day before sunrise.
Wait, what day are we on right now? Wait, what day are we on right now?
6th day.
This should,
Oh, shit. Fuck.
you missed it.
No,
You got
no,
3
no, no,
days.
no. Cease.
What?
Scroll down to number 16.
Well, hold on. I'll get there. Hold on.
You really need to read number 16
Wait.
right now. You really
Where
need to read
is
number
this
16
list?
right now.
Fine. For the duration of each 6 days, some conscription shall be hereby referred to as that thing we do not do. As such, it is illegal to read this mandate on 6th day and shall be... See, I'm not going to finish that. Because I didn't read the whole thing, so you need to shut up and quit trying to get me in trouble. The person, by the way, who gave me the sheet was indistinct about what kind of penalties one may suffer for not following these rules. Okay. This one's probably important. Dying in public spaces, defined as a gathering of 6 or more people, is prohibited and carries a sentence of 4 days of punishment in a labor camp.
My question is the dead person going to be punished?
It says that dying is bad, but killing someone is not.
Well,
So-
it
Die,
also
how are
says
you
that
gonna
it's defined as a
serve it?
gathering of 6 or more people. So it's just a gathering of 6 or more people considered dying in public space.
No. Public space is the part being defined there. I agree that the language is ambiguous. A lawyer would probably be able to say something better about that. Anyway, at no time shall any Ilderon citizen carrying exactly 7 rocks originating from 3 different rivers be permitted to cross any thoroughfare in a residential area.
That's oddly specific.
Yes. You know, I get the sneaking suspicion that they're making these laws because somebody in there is
Somebody did
doing
these
some
exact
serious weird
things.
divination things, and they've decided to make sure that they can randomly arrest a certain person because we've foreseen that they're doing this crazy thing that is sufficiently specific that we only have to worry about arresting that one person. I don't know.
Or the specific thing caused X problem.
Yesterday.
21. Oh my
Right.
God.
And we're just hoping that that's really the problem there and not, it's just that one asshole. I don't know. All right. Skyships that avoid docking at piers in order to avoid port taxes will be subject to the description of the Sky Queen's privateers each first day.
What else seems fair?
Well, kind of. I mean, we kind of did that. Good thing we were on the water.
Yeah.
It is illegal to shake a cat or any other boreal-dwelling creature while not in the presence of lilacs. So if you're going to spank your monkey, buy the flowers first.
Are lilacs a controlled flower?
Not that I know of. Wait, but I've got more rules, so there might be something about lilacs in here too. It is illegal to use a metaphor to refer to your hat. The punishment of such crime is 1 day in a labor camp. You know, I bet that has something to do with that dancing thing. It is illegal for any commoner in the Ilderon to have a string of misfortunes that extends beyond 15 consecutive events. The punishment for violators of this mandate shall be subject to 3 hours of public service every 4th day for 2 years. Dang.
What?
Just make sure you call at least one of those events fortunate, because it could have been worse or something like that. I don't know. For the duration of each 6th day. Oh wait. Never mind. All right, we're not doing that again. Heating advice from a hat capable of any form of communication carries a fine of 100 sea coins.
Okay, that has to do with the other 2 hat things.
Right.
They hate hats.
They do. At least
Or
there's
there
this
was
one
an
hat.
evil hat.
Right. Non-metaphorically putting your foot in any food that will be served to the public carries a fine of 300 sea coins except on 10th day. So you could do it metaphorically
But
on
just-
all the other days.
Just don't put your feet in food.
Yeah, that's the...
And-
Well, yes. Okay. If any shrubbery maintains a residence name and record of citizenship, it shall face a monthly property tax of 7,200 sea coins to be paid annually. So, you know, watch out for those pots that you... The awakening pot, you know.
So no sentient plants,
Right.
or else they have to pay taxes.
Just don't name it. No, that's probably not good. Don't let it get a contract. from the list. Okay. Neighborhoods and settlements that choose to send elected residents represent their interests to the Sky Queen or Sunyith may not have those elected officials chosen through bribery or physical intimidation.
How would you even know that
That's-
they were chosen that way?
Once again, that's another one that I think is actually fair.
Oh, it is. But
I
the
mean,
thing
yeah,
is,
no.
if someone was bribed or physically intimidated, they're not going to admit it. They said, I voted for him. Sure.
Yes,
But
I've
If
I
you do
voted
something
for...
screwy here, then they can go back and say, by the way, we arrested this guy. Did he bribe you? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Did he physically intimidate you? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then we get to throw them in jail or whatever. But there's no penalty associated with that one, so I don't know. Guilds that enter into business arrangements with talking fish who provide questionable advice shall be taxed 5,000 sea coins per contract. Looks dude.
You should probably. XP looks like rhubarb.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry, that was my bad. He should have been looking at Brewbark for that one. And by the way, if you can learn to turn into a talking fish, that could be fun.
Well, he can already turn into a fish, so it's just a matter of him being able to speak.
Right. So, like, if there's a fish that talks, you should learn how to turn into that. If there's a way to make you talk when you're turned into a fish, we should figure that out. That would make for some good show. All right. Aleonagian citizens owing a debt greater than 10,000 sea coins or ruby pieces to a mercantile faction shall be prohibited from serving as a member of the Risen or as a light in the Sunyith. Okay. Looks at Tatum. You're not a citizen here, are you?
She shakes her head. Oh, wait. She did live in Aleonagian waters in the Tide Gate. What island did you guys pick her up? Soromangan? That's in Aleonagian waters. She's going to say, not a mainland citizen.
Okay. Probably shouldn't be a member of the Risen or a light. Whatever. All right. It's illegal to sell your children.
Dang it.
That's quite reasonable. Renting, on the other hand, is not prohibited, evidently. Not that I would condone that. That just seems wrong. Anyway, you feel badly. That's not a nice thing to do to your children, right? Rent them out. Did you rent them to your grandma for snuggling purposes or something? I don't know. Okay. Using more than one metaphor while on a bridge carries a fine of 200 sea coins. So, do not recite poetry on a bridge? Okay.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's good move, yeah.
That's one.
Probably
You've
should
gone
cross it.
You've gone a bridge
that's
too
not a
far,
metaphor.
my friend.
No, that's not a metaphor. Those are just sayings. They're idioms. It's okay. You just cross the bridge. Don't keep metaphoring while on the bridge. You just have to get to the other side.
So you use one too many metaphors? I use one metaphor and one idiom. Idiots and thank you.
Right. All right. Auctions involving any type of rodent or vermin shall submit themselves to a full health inspection before proceeding.
Makes sense.
All right.
Keep the plague at bay.
XP looks like rhubarb again.
Yeah. I expect we will not be auctioning off Brewbark anytime soon.
No, but he's the one that currently has the scorpion, isn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
That's a vermin.
He could also
true.
transform into a vermin.
But we brought the vermin here. We did not purchase the vermin here. Is that correct? And we're not auctioning, so I think we're okay. All right. Magic belonging to the schools of divination or necromancy is prohibited in gambling establishments after sundown.
Also
okay, divination sense. I could see. Necromancy? What do you...
yeah. Necromancy has other
just probably something to incorporeal ghosts to look at other people's hands.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about the ghosts. All right, falling asleep while churning butter or cream will subject the churner to a 2-day punishment at a labor camp. So just nap before you do that. That's hard work. I remember doing that. All right. The fine for stealing documents, records, or books from a public institution or private library shall instead be calculated according to your income with a minimum fine of 50 sea coins and a maximum fine of 12,000 sea coins.
I feel like that shouldn't be according to your income. It should probably be according to the documents in which you have stolen.
I think it should be a little bit of both.
Well, imagine some highborn.
Yeah, but calculated doesn't mention all of the other details. You know,
I mean,
document value.
If you stole something really
expensive
important
because you're poor as fuck, maybe it's because you needed to eat, and they're trying not to give you too much crap for that. On the other hand, at that point, your income is a lot higher if you're trying to sell this expensive thing that you sold or you stole. So, all right. An Aleonagian official shall be prohibited from having the sole power to grant a contract on behalf of Aleonagai to a guild that the official in question was once part of. That makes sense. Conflict of interest. Okay. Praying for a pox as a curse on your neighbor will result in a 1,000 sea coin fine. Because poxes are contagious. And that's not good, not nice. All right. or is a problem for more people than just your neighbor. Probably you, actually, will probably catch it. Citizens are encouraged to descend safely into love. Anyone found encouraging people to fall in love in a non-metaphorical sense shall be fined 20 points.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
I don't understand, but yes, it's. I mean, I love my weaponry sometimes, but I don't think I've fought anyways.
Well, I hope you only do that in the privacy of your own room.
I heard that there's a great wizard named Oz who will give you a heart.
No. Well, I don't know about this heart thing. I have a stone one. It works fine. It's not that kind of love, you silly goof. It's the this is a word that gets used in many contexts, and you are using, of course, the most annoying context. I don't even know why anyone would do that. Any citizen sentenced to a punishment in a labor camp may instead serve their sentence doing hours of civil service that equal twice the time they would serve in the labor camp, and only while in the presence of a risen member of grace.
That was
all that labor camp stuff can just be public service.
Well, what about a sentient weapon?
Twice the term.
What about a sentient weapon?
Yeah, what if you fell in love with a sentient weapon?
Well, first off, I should descend
safely.
Yeah,
safely into love.
Yes, I should descend safely, especially because, if it's a sentient weapon, it's probably pointy in some places, and you don't want to fall on that. Well, there's a few weapons that are not pointy, but they're usually, you don't want to fall on those. It's not good. So, descend safely, check. And I don't know. I assume we would have a grand friendship, honestly. Because really, a sentient weapon and the wielder who is a construct, glorious. Anyway, all right, so that's all good. You have heard the new mandates to ensure the health and safety of Ilderon. And for those of you who are not Ilderon, I guess we probably don't have to worry about some of that.
Tayden's going to shake her head and say, I know that sailor said the Sky Queen's crazy, but this...
Hey now, as long as she's not also being referred to as a circus animal, you're okay. Just be careful with that.
You just wait the sun down. Wait the sun down to call her stuff about circus animals.
That's true. You can do that.
I thought it was entertain her with circus animals.
Well, just as long as you don't get too confused, it's okay.
So maybe when I'm entertaining as a circus animal, I shouldn't be referred to as the Sky Queen.
We should just put a big banner on the side that says "Not the Sky Queen."
Fantastic.
Oh.
So, if anyone else has been to this city before, that actually might be a fun thing to play with, because this is clearly something that's all over town now. Because they had bells and lots of sheets and so on and so forth. So, if we get a match in the next few days while this is still in people's minds, we should definitely have some crazed circus animal action with a sign on it that says "Not the Sky Queen."
I just like doing it in the arena as part of.
That's what I mean. Like, in the arena, we should make sure there's some crazed circus animal action. Put a sign on whoever or whatever crazed circus animal we're gonna have doing stuff with.
Stares at Brewbark.
Yeah, which is probably gonna be Brewbark, no lie. But definitely put a sign on him that says "Not the Sky Queen." Because that kind of like current events thing is a great source for excellent humor.
Tayden is going to speak up and say, well, speaking of that, I wasn't able to get us entered into the arena for the coming match. The organizers have She thins her mouth and says, disappeared. I'm sure it's nothing, but...
What? Tayden, you had one job.
They weren't there.
Actually,
didn't even pay them.
She's going to chime in and say that they should be there today. Or at least
Why?
their replacement should be there today.
Okay.
So we can do it today.
Today is good. I'm still curious about the disappearing part, but all right, whatever.
She's going to scratch her neck and say, I can look into it if you'd like.
Yes, please. I can probably help. Oh, speaking of work things, by the way, I was assured by a certain someone that there would be some legitimate business as a cover for some less legitimate business that we could potentially get paid for conducting sometime in the very near future. However, we will need a yellow, orange, or blue contract to do it.
I'm down for the money making. I'm broke right now.
XV rather sniff out what caused the officials to disappear.
Does she say that?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
Oh, by the way, all of XV's things are done telepathically.
Okay.
So about the disappearing people, honestly, if we go do this other work first, we'll first need to get a contract, which is probably good for us long term. Then we will do the thing, and then these particular contacts should also be good at helping us with why somebody disappeared. Just a hunch. Or logical progression, at least.
Or we could burn the candle at both ends and have a party start the search while the other one gets contacts to then ask to further our search.
Usually not wise to split the squad.
I mean, before anything dangerous happens, we can meet back up.
Okay, wait a minute. I need you to listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth right now and say them again slowly so that you realize where you went wrong there.
Before anything dangerous, I still don't. One, nothing came out of my mouth.
Oh, sorry. I need you to think these words again carefully and slowly so you realize where you went wrong there.
I still see nothing wrong with my logic.
Because usually when something's going to go wrong, you don't expect it.
I'm actually going to cut in.
Yeah.
And Jordan.
Yes.
Not to be a dick, but XV does have to talk. Her telepathy is not working.
What? Why is my telepathy not working? Well, XV's talking, but then she points out that her telepathy isn't working.
Okay. Did you run out of juice or something? Here,
No.
have some tea or coffee or whatever that stuff is.
That's not how that works.
You sure?
That's not how that works.
Okay, out of character. I just imagine XV kind of living on coffee and like small sticks of bread or something.
She's not a coffee lock.
Or maybe cheese. Okay. Well, maybe that's a mystery we can also solve along the way. But yes, I feel it is unwise to do that because the violence is typically unexpected. And you can't tell them, oh, excuse me, Mr. Ambusher, let me go back to my tavern and gather the rest of my party because then we will be ready for the violence. And the violence will be much more entertaining and satisfying for all parties involved, I assure you. I'm pretty sure that won't go well.
So, Brandon, is there something interrupting my telepathic speech, or are you reading telepathic speech?
No. For reasons unknown to you,
Okay, my
XV does
telepathy's
not
not
have telepathy right now.
Okay. This is concerning.
So, quick question, Brandon. Did that just come up this morning, or was that like it's been that way since she got into town, or something like that?
Yeah, waking up this morning, XV's been talking.
Okay.
I just like that thought. I just like the idea that she hasn't realized she's been talking because she never uses her mouth, so she thinks the words are just coming out of her head. It's just like my headcanon with that.
Well, that'll also be entertaining when you look at somebody and go, "Wait, I was talking to so and so. Did you hear what I said too?"
Well, so I also like the fact, like, that makes the look at what you said with look at the words that just came out of your mouth, XP, and XP goes, "I was talking telepathically."
And then everybody else looks at you and goes, "No, you weren't."
All right, so XP is now concerned.
Okay.
So
I wonder if there was an old rule, maybe. What is this, 6th day? 7th day? 6th day, right?
Yeah, 6th day.
Okay, I wonder if there was an old law that says telepathy may not be used on 6th day unless without Sky Queen's permission or something like that.
Well,
or excessive sarcasm during telepathy will something. And
I want to
except on 6th day.
I want to go investigate the cause of my telepathy being broken.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
Well, as realization dawns on her, she's going to start, getting very uncomfortable all of a sudden. And then I look around and go, I'd like to figure out what's going on. There's obviously some kind of magical barrier or something stopping me from using telepathy, and I'd like to figure out the source of it.
Okay. Tayden, any ideas? You're the only other magical person I know, really. Well, actually, Brewbark. You don't really do magic.
Brewbark's not all that smart at it, I promise.
You do magic things? I figured I'd ask. Sorry, Tayden, go ahead.
An intelligence check, or an arcana check. She'll start...
I'm happy to roll.
Say that again?
I'm happy to roll a check. I'm just gonna manage your expectations.
All right.
Did you say it was Arcana?
Yeah. Tayden's going to scratch her head and start rambling off ideas. And there's so many of them that flow, just like she doesn't help as she starts mumbling to herself.
I didn't do too bad, actually. 17.
Yeah, Brewbark, you're gonna think on it. There are some so for Brewbark, I'll give you the same thing as Tayden, but I guess I'll narrow down the window. There are some deities that can block telepathy and telepathic communication, some very powerful planar beings. Some people have developed magic in order to do it, such as spells like Mind Blink. But something like that would have to be cast on every person in this area. The next idea that comes is something specifically limiting XV's power, maybe if she's been cursed or something. Those would probably be the three best ideas that pop into your mind.
Does Tayden have detect magic, or does maybe not XV? Oh, we lost our main spellcaster. But do we have anyone that has like detect magic? Maybe.
Well, I have detect magic, but I don't think detect magic doesn't work on curses. I don't think.
Well, I'm thinking maybe you're holding on to a contract
that was given to you at the port, or maybe something slipped into your pocket.
I mean,
Okay. Empty your pockets.
I can try. I'll ritual cast detect magic. See if there's anything nearby that may be interrupting my telepathy.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, you start casting detect magic.
Oh wait, what was? Oh, we're not in the gambling facility. Never mind, we're good.
Yes. All right. You are going to start casting detect magic. You are going to notice lots of different magical auras from the people around you. On your person, let me open up XV's sheet. If anything is magical.
Check out my little scorpion. He's magical now.
Yeah, XV, for you, your healing potion gives off a magic aura, and of course, Spike and his armor gives off a magical aura. Oh, you have a luck stone too. That gives off a magical aura.
I also assume that my crystal arcane focus gives off a magical aura.
It does not. When you channel magic through it helps you focus it.
Gotcha.
But yes, otherwise you don't notice anything, you don't notice anything else different about yourself.
Oh, I can also. You said I can see auras around me, and if I focus, according to the spell, if I focus, I can learn the school of magic that it comes from.
Yes.
So, is there anything nearby that's within the hexes and curses? What school of magic is that?
Enchantment. Let's think for a second. You know what? I'll roll a percentage die of if any of these adventurers in here have cursed equipment. Wait, I didn't think of a parameter. I'm going to say it's a 19% chance, 1 through 19. They do, and 20 through 100. They do not. 49. You don't notice any enchantments in here. At least not not currently.
Okay. So it's not near. Whatever's jamming my telepathy is not nearby, from what I can sense. I relayed that to the group.
Narrowing it down at least a little bit.
Well, maybe you're looking at the deity decided that telepathy was not okay today.
What if the magic aura is just too big?
Tayden's gonna ask, are you sick?
I feel fine.
Maybe we can find someone else that does telepathy and have them test it, see if it's an isolated experience.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to start investigating the town to figure out the cause.
You're in a room full of adventurers. The magical density in this area, I'm sure, is considerably higher than most of the rest of the town. You should probably just ask the room.
Alright, I'll roll an investigation check, Brandon, to inquise around the room about telepathy jamming.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay. Interesting. Go ahead and roll me the investigation check and let me know the types of
Can
questions that go
I
around
aid
this.
him? I would like to help him. Maybe doing a performance while he's asking to at least get their attention and get them to buy into us.
XV doesn't need unwanted attention.
No.
I will allow the help action if XV accepts it, but if not, that's fine. What type of questions are you asking, Jordan, for XV?
I guess, does anyone know if there is some type of interference going on with magical communication?
Okay, go around and ask a couple of these people. I keep rolling dice before I have parameters for them. Okay. I'll roll you a d6 on how many different groups you approach and ask, talking to 3 different sets of adventurers in here.
I would like the help action, but like not actually helping, but more of just like XP's a shy character. She's not going to go up to people just willy-nilly.
Do you want me to just be the mouth of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need emotional support.
Okay. Roll me that check one more time. Because you didn't have the help action, you just rolled twice first. I'm just taking the first one, so give me the second roll, and we'll take the higher of the 2. All right. So it's going to be a 20. Ooh, that's going to be a 22. As you go up and let me. So there's 3 groups. I rolled for 1. Let me roll for 2. And the first person you talk to, you ask, is there anything going on with mental communication? And they're going to respond with whole city of people disappeared off of Ilderon a couple days ago. Maybe the person you're trying to talk to just isn't here anymore.
XP turns around to look at C's to make sure he's still there.
C's is there.
Alright, she turns back and goes, no, that's not the case.
Guy's going to shrug. Second person's going to say, and the person he's talking to is going to say, maybe you're a ghost. Huh? I fought one before.
XP turns to Brewbark and asks him to touch her.
I extend my hand and slowly, to at least give them warning that I'm reaching out to them, just to poke them on the shoulder.
Okay. You poke XV's shoulder, your hand does not go through her.
No, that's not it.
Leaving this group of 2, you ask a third and final person. And as you sit down and ask them, let's roll this person up at random. Because that's helpful for me. Alright, she is a shattered person, and as you sit down, or rather as you walk up to her table and ask, she's going to shrug and say, your spell run out? You know, there's a university where they teach you how to do that better here.
I reply with, no, I continuously redo it. It's not a spell, it's innate to me.
She's going to look you up and down and say, I'm sure you're not cursed.
Well, I don't have detect curses, so I can't say for sure whether I'm cursed or not. But there's no magical items on me.
Hardly worth my time, but if you really are the victim of some affliction, the Sunyith does heal people in town. And it's paid out of the Sky Queen's taxes.
I guess we could pay a visit to the Sun Yet to see if I may be cursed. XV turns back to the rest of the party and goes, I'm just going to double check on this curse.
Brandon, are you willing to describe this Shatterer?
Not Shatterer, Shattered. It's Ilderon's version of Tieflings. She is a woman with red skin, horns, and a tail.
Okay, just making sure that I wasn't just about to run into green hairs, green eyes, and start screaming and run out of the place.
That's fair.
All right. So she approaches the party and go, well, I want to help with the getting the group in the arena. I really want to figure out what's going on with my magic right now.
This should be a priority for all of us. If she can't do her mojo, then
she just did her mojo. I mean, she doesn't do the telepathy right now, but she just did the detection thing, right? So it's not like it's completely broken. Now, that said, isn't the same place that we would go to get a construct also adjacent or the same place that we would go to get her some healing? Like up at the big towers or something?
Some Sunyeth members do work in Glacius Watch? Question mark. Pretty sure that's the name. I'm going to look it up so I can stop giving you guys wrong information. But yes, there are, it is a Sunyeth establishment.
Okay, let's go do that.
Oh,
We're not on a bridge, right? So I can kill 2 birds once down.
You're not on a bridge. You're in a room.
Yeah, Glacius Watch.
Brandon, I want to do one more thing.
Okay.
Before we head out, and I want to. I don't know why I have this spell, but I have it. That's long. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts to see if I can like forcibly read someone's thoughts.
Okay.
Clark will volunteer, but there isn't a lot in there.
Or if it's, I just want to see if it's my telepathy or if it's all magic, like mind magic.
You cast Detect Thoughts.
I'll cast it on C's.
And C's, XV is trying to read your thoughts. It's a, intelligence save? Or is it a wisdom save?
Is it not so?
It's a, let's see, if you succeed the spell you initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on their mind. It's an action, you can shift your attention
See, you can choose to fail.
It's a wisdom saving throw. I'll let you keep that same roll, but you can use your wisdom if you want.
Wisdom is +1 from that, so basically the same thing.
You are going to fight off XV's attempt to probe into your mind. XV, you learn the surface level thoughts of C's. Doesn't want you poking around in his brain.
More like, hey, somebody's trying to poke my brain. No. He's looking around being very suspicious now.
XV raises his hand and goes, that was me. I was checking to see if my other thought magic worked.
Oh, well, you need to warn me next time.
But I could read his surface level thoughts, right?
Yes.
Alright, so it's just telepathy's not working.
For now.
Why do you get tip hit points?
It's one of the padding. It's a thing that's installed for being Warforged. And I keep forgetting to roll it, so...
Oh, okay.
I was just rolling it since I remembered. And it sticks until I long rest or something, so... Anyway.
Alrighty. So yeah, it's just my telepathy. That's yeah. Concerning.
Well, where do you get it from?
After those experiments, after I was saved from those experiments, I started being able to hear thoughts and send my thoughts to other people.
Okay. So it's like something that was installed in you intentionally, or more of an unintentional side effect?
I'm not sure whether they intentionally wanted it or not.
Because if it's intentional, then there's a thing that is not working that should be working, and the healer is the right person to talk to. If it was an unintended side effect, then your body may be healing it gradually over time, and you finally healed. Which doesn't sound nearly as entertaining or likely, really.
No, this is a part of me now.
Okay. Well, hopefully it didn't fall off someplace. Let's go talk to the healers. And we'll get the contract stuff started.
XV? Do you really need everybody on this?
No. I was just letting everybody know. Like, we don't need everybody on this. Like, if someone wants to come with me, that would be great. Because XV's shy. Not emotionally ready to talk to a bunch of people, especially strangers.
Regis will go. He'll get them talking.
Regis,
I'm interested of going with Tayden for getting it into the arena.
Okay. Regis and XV are going to head to see and get XV healed. The rest of the party with Tayden, question mark?
C's will go with XV since the contract stuff is right next door.
Okay. All right. Let me mark that for my notes. And I am going to take the last 10 minutes of tonight's session for me and confuse everybody. Jordan.
Yes.
XV. It is the let's go ahead and stop this, and let's go with this. Nope, I don't like that. This. No, I don't like that. We'll go with this one. Okay, so it is the night of the 35th. You are finishing up on the beach, and XV goes to head back with her, or to meet up with her guildmates. As you leave the beach, you can see the trail of footprints that the Mirai left, and abruptly you can see that the footprints have been end in a mass jumble getting back to the stairs that lead up the docks. It is more well walked here than initially before. Do you want to do anything?
So it's more well walked than when I came onto the beach earlier?
Yes.
Alright, can I roll, I guess, an investigation check to see if there was a fight or a scuffle based off the footprints?
You can.
Sorry, I have advantage on. That's 15.
Yeah, you're gonna see, definitely the way these, footprints are, in a mess around these, stairs. There was some sort of scuffle, but, just going up the, docks and, looking for, any sort of clues, you're going to, find that strange, crystal substance, shattered and broken on the docks, and not too far off, leading up from the docks into the array of buildings that line the port district. you're going to see crowds of people gathered around. Apparently they are marking over something. Are remarking over something.
XV does XV goes and see what the hubbub is about.
Okay.
Worried now for the Mirai that she had just met.
It is your suspicions confirmed. As you get into this circle, the body of the Mirai is on the ground. It is twisted, and the wounds on it are seeping a black liquid. It's not. It's only probably you get to Gok here for maybe 3 or 4 minutes before 2 Risen members are going to come and say, "Alright, if there was a murder here, this is in the Sky Queen's. The Sky Queen's servants are on this. Everybody back up. Return to what you were doing and we'll get to the bottom of this."
Can I use insight to see if they're honest about this, or if they like are underhandedly trying to cover up something?
Yeah, you can roll me an insight check.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, something strikes you as off about one of these Risen members. The next thing that you are going to notice too is their uniforms seem different. Roll me a intelligence check.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah, well, I'll give you the information as a player. But you know, XV as a character might have more information than you and I. But one of the Risen members is wearing a uniform of the School of Elegance, and another one is wearing a uniform of the School of Grace.
Okay. Intelligence. Excuse me, that was a save, not check. My bad.
That's fine. The save is probably the same as, you know, your. What strikes you as odd, you do remember the Risen member you talked to at the docks? She did say matters of safety were the concern of the Risen of discipline.
Okay. XV's going to confront the two and telepathic. Well, I guess she's a little bit more frustrated, so telepathy is probably not her first concern. She's going to ask, isn't the School of Discipline supposed to be the one that's handling this matter?
They are going to look at XV and say, you were that Sarai down at the waters she was conversing with.
Yes, and I'd like to know what happened to her.
The other one is going to step up and say, I saw this one earlier, asking questions at the Windswept rounds, too. The woman's going to shake her head and say, all right, little seed, come with us, and all your questions will be answered.
Is there enough time to do a medicine check just to confirm that the Mirai is dead? Or is it painfully obvious that she's dead, or that it's dead?
am going to answer yes to both of your questions. It's painfully obvious, and because it's so painfully obvious, I will allow you to do a medicine check of just like, is her arm supposed to bend that way?
Well, broken limbs don't mean a dead person.
It's a mangled corpse.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
trying to be polite with the description.
XV is going to follow with her guard up because she doesn't trust this. She can tell that something's up because these aren't members of discipline, and so she's going to be like at the ready for a fight and follow them. Like have her crystal close by, and everything.
All right. We've only got a little bit more time left for tonight, so I'm gonna give you an expedited rundown, and I'm gonna allow you to make a check. I know you just did not. What I think you did. Okay, never mind. Anyways, I'm going to give you an expedited rundown and allow you to make a check. XV. You follow these Risen members to their stationed school. What's up?
Just a reminder, Regis is tagging along. He's just been very quiet.
No, this is the night before. This is the night before the day.
Oh, this is the night before? Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. I thought this was when...
No. I know exactly what's going on.
Sorry, that's my bad. I thought this was taking place during the day after I'd said that. Sorry.
XV, when they get you to their school, and as they are questioning and explaining things to you, they start casting a spell, which, they tell you is a zone of truth. You can make an Arcana check if you want, but you become painfully aware that this is not. You have a moment to get up and run or fight them off.
I want to.
Go ahead.
I want to use my moment to instead cast detect thoughts again and try and get an answer out of them before whatever spell they're about to cast on me actually works.
Okay. They'll roll saves against your detect thoughts. You try and probe the first one's mind, as she is talking to you. At which point, when you start casting a spell, a smile is going to go across her face. She resists the effects of your detect thoughts. The other one, who's been walking around the room almost like a shark, you are able to probe into her mind. She's been the one doing the ritual. As you try and seep into her thoughts, they are, let's see, I'm going to roll a percentage die real quick because I just need to think on something. It's always weird when you can get in somebody's head. She is going to, she's going to say, or rather, not she's going to say, in your mind, you hear, or in her mind, you are going to hear, Breath will welcome another daughter.
Who will?
Breath.
Breath.
Also, As your detect thoughts finishes, XV, your shadow is going to be torn from you. It swirls around the room almost as a cloud of dark mist before it coalesces in front of you, looking perfectly as an XV. With that, I'm going to say the other one, who is much more physically capable, is... we can do this as combat next session if you want. XV might not necessarily be captured here, but
she can be captured.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be pretty hard to get away from these ladies. But XV, knowing your fate, you're going to go along with the flow of it as this woman ushers you along. The other one is going to walk out with your shadow, and she is going to command it and say, act as her in her affairs and report back to us. Bury any suspicion and keep any eyes off of us. The fewer questions, the better. It nods and walks off into the night. And we will pick up, continuing from the 36, next session.
God, that music that was perfect music for that moment.
All right, let's do experience for tonight's session. You guys got the mandates? The Sky Queen is crazy. Question mark. What is she doing and what is going on? XV. Somebody murdered your Mirai friend. Why would they do that? And also, somebody kidnapped you and sent a doppelganger in your place. Why would they do that? And also, story experience. Somebody kidnapped the arena organizers. Why would they do that? And I think that's everything major that happened tonight. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 major ticks of experience, and then we will schedule our next session and be on our way. 3,000 experience for tonight, and our next session will be on the 2nd of... the 2nd of May? Good lord. May? May? Already? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everybody for watching. It was a lot of fun playing, and I'm going to end the broadcast there.